I was sort of mucking around, I guess. All right, let's start the clock on this one. Cha 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 cha. Anybody in the chat? So we've got a week and a day. Oh, excuse me. Wow, we've got a week and a day. Um, I was doing some Twitch stuff that you caught me on, and just looking at some stuff that haven't been around. This is going to be good for everybody, right? I think the people at Haps gave a lot of us a chance to one, put some money in our pocket, which is nice. Thank you for that. I haven't actually done that yet. And also gave us a chance to sort of see if we wanted to like seriously do this seriously, right? As well as if you were doing it serious, you have another platform. So we're thankful for that. Uh, it's like the rap song says, on to the next one, right? On to the next one, on to the next one, and we're on to the next one. It is quite a day. So, are we going to take a second and let's cut that on? Contemplate the meaning of reality and the meaning of loss and all that? No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to power on through. I was actually looking for a plug-in app to, excuse me, I was actually looking for a plug-in app to let the chat scroll up, since we're only going to be streaming to one place now. Man, it's interesting. What a day it's been. Oh, I've been sitting in this little room looking at uh passcodes and passwords and all this good stuff. Just trying to get it all relocked in a new system. Uh it's funny. It really is. Because I keep telling myself I'm bad at this, and I've told myself I'm not going to tell myself that I'm bad at anything anymore. And this time around, it went fairly smoothly and fairly well. So, as that went fairly well, we work on our fare thee wells. Wah, wah, wah. Today is the 22nd day of the 22nd uh, year, right? 4/22/22. And it's also Earth Day. So get your Earth Day up. Oh, let's move some of this out of the way. We're going to leave that open. We're going to need it later. All right. Excuse me. All right. Wow. Wow. You know what I think it is? I think I opened up the shade to get some light in here, and I think the light is sort of playing havoc with my system. You ever are in a, well, especially like, anyway, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Uh, I hope everyone is here. I humbly ask you to help me pull off a miracle and donate, and well, whatever you can. I'm trying to close in on $9.10. I need just under $10. Uh, I know, right? Before I'm trying to do it before Wednesday. Um, and shut down. It's fun. It's really just it's this whole experience has been really good. I mean, I know that there are some pods where I was raging. I admit it was not my better moments. Ooh, wow, was not my better moment. Uh, but hey, William, good to see you. I thank you. Right on time. I appreciate it. I'm closing in. That should put me at $9 even. So I got to make $9, which is an impossible thing to do in 7 days. Uh, because the shutdown is May 5th, but the last transactional date is going to be the 30th. So I'm like, right? So it's very weird, but I get why they're gonna like they want a week or at least a week to close the books on some of this stuff, which makes sense. But man, I think they're gonna leave. They're gonna go away with a lot of money. Um, and this money will come in handy to buy a new microphone for when I start my Twitch streams Monday. You think so? God, I hope so. Oof. From your mouth to God's ears. Because it would piss me off if I got like within like a couple of bucks and lost like the whole thing. But I mean, you can't donate to yourself. That's the thing. Um. Anyway, I think people are moving on. I wonder how many people are going to be here on the last day. I see, because I'm like, shit, do I want to be here on the last day? Like last one out, cut the lights off, kind of thing. Because I'm the kind of weirdo who would be here on that just to look around and see. But I don't look around and see who's in the. Yeah, I think a lot of people have to download all their old videos, but I have a copy of everything, most everything, on Twitch and YouTube, so I'm not really concerned about that. But I really should start recording these things because man, uh, having your own archive of it is good, just in case I get banned from everything. Uh, that's another thing I have to do, trying to professionalize up the stream. Get a .com, which I'm so bad at. The life of a professional streamer. Talkity talk boy. Anyway, so that's what I was doing, trying not to miss a beat and have all this stuff transferred over. And I was trying to look for a chat scroll that's on the screen so everybody can see it. Since this is going to be in one place, um, but it says I'm going to record it, and then when I put it on someplace else, I want because the chat on Twitch is to the left of the screen, and I want to run a small so people can follow the dialogue because it's going to be a I'm just talking about I'm not going to do a pop, but it's going to be a political podcast for the most part, and we're going to be gaming. It's going to be great. All the stuff that I wanted to do, we're going to do. It's going to be great. Man, I feel like Hatcher's gonna beat me though. I really do. I feel like I was like, oh man, okay, a year. We're gonna not gonna make it. Not gonna make it by a month and a week. I feel like the fix is in. Woo, but I can't. I gotta get a win. So I'm kind of psyched. I'm kind of stoked. Gotta get a win. We've been winning though, right? I'm being a little overly dramatic. I'm being a little competitive about something. I should let this one go. If it spins, it spins. Let's get it. So weird. Ooh, Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. Russian commander suggests plan is for permanent occupation of southern Ukraine. Yeah, because then you buy the Black Sea, and that's what you want. You want to landlock Ukraine, take all this land and the lake, where you can put your submarines back in and be like, okay, we forgive everything. And after 5 years, oh, no more sanctions and everything's back to normal. And because Europeans are, I hate to say it, they're fucking weak sauce. They don't stand up for shit, right? They're all over Africa with weapons, fighting guys throwing fucking spears, right? France is all over Africa with their army, their French Foreign Legion. It's so bad. McCarthy's leaked Trump remarks complicate quest to be House Speaker. He look, remember, he's the one who said he tanked the thing to stop Hillary Clinton from doing something, and then everybody was so angry at it that stopped his chance from being House Speaker then, right? And the boy wonder got the job. Who's that guy? Paul Ryan got the gig, and he's still in office because he's slimy, and now he's going to be Speaker, and he's going to sit there for 90 years, taking money and being a dick and watching nothing happen. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty good pod coming on through Monday. The first official day is May 1st, which is Sunday. The first Sunday session will be the Queen's killer was illegal. The first proper Sunday session will be May 1st. But we're gonna do some streaming before that on Twitch. So please stand by for it. I'm gonna use my Twitch to notify everybody, and my not my Twitch, my Twitter to notify everybody. My gaming tag. So we're moving everybody to my gaming tag, and I might change my gaming tag, the little print will say Karma Armor 2. Actually, I don't want to change it, but there was a Karma Armor before me, and Karma Armor 2 just pisses me off so much. It really does. Oh my god! It pisses me off so much. And I don't want to start a new Twitter. But here's the thing. On my BattleNet, I'm Karma Armor number 5,600 something because it's a global BattleNet. So apparently there are 5,000 other Karma Armors in the gaming sphere, right? So I shouldn't really. It's just that I'm number 2. It's making me crazy. If I were number 407, I wouldn't give a fuck. But the fact that there's, you know what? Ah, good lord, my mania about some of the stuff that doesn't matter. You should have saw me as a kid, man, when I really needed a certain color marker to finish a piece or something like that. I would drive myself crazy and wouldn't finish the piece. Like now, back then, we know that's a little ADD, a little you need to let go. And some people will recognize that now and tell you, don't calm down, take it easy, don't fuss over it, right? And then you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, and you'll get used to letting go early and not being tight as an adult. Here's the thing about that. They arrested the parents and did all this stuff. And I mean, how horrible is that story, right? You go on vacation, someone snatches your 3-year-old. Um, and it's international, and all of a sudden the detective wanted to be the guy who breaks it. So they just lock in on anybody, right? Like the parents. Uh it happened with the other international case with the girl whose girlfriend was murdered in the apartment while they were having sex, right? It happened with the dingo ate my baby. They found out that those people didn't do it, and a dingo could have just slipped into the tent quietly, snatched this kid by the throat like it does rabbits, and ran away before you even freaking had a chance to realize what happened. And those people spent years in jail. They found they did it with not Sandy Hook, with the this this daycare, and they said everybody was raping the babies. And then the people came with expert testifiers in children and essentially planted stories in the little children. And then they had to let those people out of jail after 8 years after realizing this was a hot mess. Plus, so I mean, now they're talking about we we finally we finally have a suspect after 15 years of this, right? Some of this doesn't make any sense. You could have got the real killer when this happened. The John Benet Ramsey case, where I'm just kind of like the only people in that house was her family, and you got no suspects. You thought the little brother did it, right? Then it was written by the mom, but the handwriting was written by the mom, so you thought the mom did it, but you didn't indict anybody, right? You all of a sudden you get super cautious. Yeah, man, that Madeleine McCann thing is just horrible. Or these wingnuts running around shooting everybody. At least three shot at Connecticut Avenue, Northwest DC. And I hear DC has a really bad gang issue, and it's where the president or the politicians live, right? Or and they don't even care about DC proper, right? The District of Columbia is a district. So I mean, they get a state well, they run it like a state. They give state representatives, but those guys can be overruled by like the congressmen and the senators, right? They don't get to vote. Um, it's all it's very weird. And then they just voted against Puerto Rico, saying, you've been getting a lot of rights that you shouldn't have because you're not really a state. Now remember, all that time they were like, we don't want to be a state, and there was always a reference, do you want to be a state? And they're like, nah, we like it like this because it's. And then that hurricane came through, and they were like, yeah, let's be a state immediately. The same thing happened essentially, like self-preservation with Norway and Sweden just now with Russia, right? Now all of a sudden they want into NATO. All these years they were like, nah, we don't want NATO, right? We're fine the way we are. They see Russia invade, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you know what? NATO, we want to be NATO. Just in case we get invaded, we want y'all to do something for us. And you should be like, no, wait 10 years. Um, it's the whole thing is ridiculous, man. Do you ever see DNA proof wrong? No, no. How did your DNA get there? Right? The cops can plant some DNA, hairs, right? But when it comes to your sperm, how did it get there? How did your sperm get in the lady that you said you didn't know, right? That's a good one. But how your fingerprints got around the place that you live, and how your DNA got there, and God forbid there's a murder, they can't really use that against you, right? There's been cases like that where they were like, we found his DNA all over the place, and not the prosecuting the defense attorney was like, he lives there, right? Don't you expect his DNA to be all over the place, a place that he lives? And the jury was like, yeah, man, that sort of makes sense. What's wrong with y'all? Um, it is what it is, dog. It is what it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene testifies as part of a legal challenge to candidacy. Man, you get there, then you don't do anything but grandstand. Now you're trying to fight to stay there so you can grandstand some more. Everybody wants to go to Congress to want enrich themselves and then argue and call each other name and solve no problems. The people have a ton of problems that need solved. None of these problems are being addressed. Going back to what I said about DC, right? DC is just the canary in the coal mine. If they won't even take care of DC, and they don't have to, right? But they could. That would show compassion, right? I don't have to give the homeless guy money. I'm gonna give the homeless guy $5 because that's compassion, and it's cold, right? I'm gonna give him 15. Versus, oh, if I don't have to, motherfucker, am I gonna? And that's what they're doing. If I don't have to take care of the people, why am I? Why? I'm comfy up here, and that's what it is. The place gets worse and worse, and they just get more and more kind of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps that we sabotage, right? That we sawed in half. So when you attempt to even grab up on them, they come right off. Oh my goodness, I didn't. What is the name of this pod? Hold on, wait a minute. Edit stream details. I didn't even fully name the pod. That's all right. Um, that's all right. We don't need to fully name the pod. That's fine. 422 is fine. Today's Earth Day, which is what the pot is supposed to be named. Let's rename it Earth Day. Let's slide in my own edit DMs and rename it uh, Earth Day, which is always on a Friday, people. Earth Day, Friday. Let's take that over there. Save details. So, what are you gonna do, baby? Happy Earth Day, guys. Plant the flower. Uh, give somebody your love flowers. Remember, flowers grow back. They don't last, so it's fine to pick them. But trees are a little bit different. We're doing a lot of logging, and maybe we should calm down with that. Uh, so yeah, I was going to see if I could appeal to my lurkers, but I don't think you can. I think like people. I heard people on Haps were going asking people to give them their bits in the wallet because that translates to money. Just whatever you got, just give it to me, kind of stuff. And some people couldn't, so I think they shut down some. They're shutting down people's ability to give. Right? Thank you. They're shutting down people's ability to give because I think that means that if you can give, and I'm close to 200, but I don't get 200. So because right now, I think I've got like 100 and I'm trying to keep my memory right. 80. I need 200, so I think I've got $191. I think I need $9.50 as of today. Thank you, man. And if I don't get that, they keep the $191, right? So it's like, oh man, I can't. I miss it by this much. Um, it's sort of that. So it's weird, man. It's so weird. Uh, it's so weird. So it's funny. I feel like I can do it, but there's really nothing I can do. Right? I feel like I have a goal to hit, like I could do, but I really can't do anything. Thank you, William. Again, thank you. Uh, it's weird. So earlier today, I was over put my Patreon and my not my Patreon. I don't have a Patreon. My PayPal to my Twitch to get all that stuff. So because Twitch has a sort of different system. Um, so yeah, you can get Amazon points or something like that if I'm not mistaken. At least you victim DC shooting. We don't normally hear about DC shootings. They like to generally keep because DC has a crime problem, and Dave Chappelle is famously from DC. He has a whole skit about how he talks about DC crime and the weed baby. I think it's a weed baby at 3 in the morning or something like that. But they don't talk about it because they only concentrate on like the rich and the wealthy and the powerfully connected. Um, but DC is a I don't want to call it a whole, but they should do something. It's the nation's capital. They should do something about DC. But it's a giant black population. There's poverty there, right? In most black populations. Um, so I don't even know how you would fix it. You would maybe you would. I was about to say this sounds cruel. You would deport those people and get in there all your famous rich black people, and then you would have a rich black population, and then you could not versus fixing it because you know what happened. That's what I was thinking when you fix it. You know what happens when America fixes a problem? Uh, they generally make it worse. And when I say they, I mean like politicians. Um, our fellow citizens, boy. Um, Teens charged in a 151-mile-per-hour crash that killed six. Wow, 151-mile-an-hour crash that killed six people. He posted Instagram videos of him racing. Is he out on bail, or did he post these videos before? See, here's your thing. People now provide their own evidence of ridiculousness, right? Like what there was a woman who she was driving fast with her sister, and she flipped the car and she kept streaming as she killed her sister in this car wreck and they sent her to jail. Right. The new look, man. The new. I'm just calling the new. I'm the new people. I guess I'm an old man now. The millennials. What do we call them? They they're very driven by like image, and that's fine, right? When they're a little baby, to get them iPads, right? So I totally get it. But when those of their generation go wrong, young people, they always videotape it. They always have it like their own evidence, whether it's speeding or killing somebody or defacing a monument, or you know what I mean? Like they pushed over that rock in not Death Valley, in Yosemite Park, and got banned from all national parks forever. And I think they could have got I think it was $25,000 fine, but they could have got like a $20,000 or $50,000 fine because you're being exceptionally ridiculous. It's like you can get like a $100,000 fine if you get into some shit on an airplane. Speaking of which, how does Mike Tyson not get charged with anything as an ex felon with a criminal record for a fight in an airplane when they quote unquote zero tolerance? Now all of a sudden the FAA is not going to do anything about it, and the local cops, I don't even know how they have jurisdiction. Local cops do not have jurisdiction on anything on a fucking plane, right? The first people who have jurisdiction is the feds, and they can go. We can we'll pass on judgment, but and when you land, the municipality within the airport can charge you. I don't know how because it happened on federal land. When you get off, like you have to you transgress through state-owned property, and then they can charge you. I don't understand that. Um, but they said both parties decided not to file charges, and I was like, that's not how that works. But okay, right? You know why? It's my experience that the municipalities don't want to fuck with good lawyers. So if you show up and they arrest you, and then they find out that you're a giant rap star and you're represented by, super rich lawyer and super duper, duper rich lawyer and son, right? All of a sudden, everybody's looking to kind of like make this go away. Um, where's Jerry Lewis when you need him? I don't know. Did he throw? I know that video shows him hitting him a couple of times, like pow, 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 right? And I'm like, that's like one is enough, and you're a professional boxer. How does that not warrant charges? And then the guy's sitting there bleeding from the head like this, like who's gonna help me, right? It's all and people. I side with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist. All right. Now all of a sudden, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I get people fuck with you because you're famous and you're a boxer. And this is the easy payday. I totally get it. You become a target. I totally get it. But there wasn't even an investigation. It was dismissed out of hand. And this tells me that the fix is always in, right? At least make it look like you looked at it. Go to Hackle. Um, what is Hackle? Heckle? Oh, it's not Hackle. It's Heckle. I'm going to Twitch. I think I'm gonna slide up to that tier and see what happens. But I might end up on Heckle. Let's look up Heckle. What is Heckle? Um, but yeah, how do you punch some guy in the head 3 times? You're a professional boxer who you're not supposed to be fighting anybody who's not a professional. Your hands are lethal weapons. They actually are, and you hit them multiple times on an airplane where there's supposed to be zero tolerance. I just see fuckery all over this Mike Tyson incident. It's like the Tiger Woods thing, right? He's doing 80 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, flips his ride. Now, mind you, there's been computers in every car for about 20 years now. So they can easily unplug your car and click. And they I don't want to be sued by anybody, but there's I think, hearsay, uh, that there was other things involved. He's got a prior of other things being involved twice, right? So why wouldn't I believe it? Now all of a sudden, no, this it's just accidents happening. I'm like, accidents happen at 80 miles. Yeah, if you have an accident going twice the legal speed limit, you are charged with something. I'm not calling it an accident, right? It is an accident, but whose fault is this accident? If I'm traveling at speed, right, which is the legal speed, at speed, and my tire blows out, that's no one's fault, right? And if it's a brand new tire, it might be the manufacturer's fault. Or maybe it was damage in shipping by the people who sold it to me. So maybe it's the Walmart or wherever I got the tires from's fault, right? Maybe it's just you get the 1 million in a million random bad tire, right? Maybe it's that. It's no one's fault, right? But I have insurance, so my insurance will fix it because there is no fault insurance. But if I'm doing 170 and my tire blows out and I have an accident, that's my fault. right? I mean, it looks like the only people who ever get arrested for anything are common everyday working people. Um, doing like 80 in like a 30. It was fucking ridiculous. And flip your height and well, I don't even know what he was driving, SUV, given you by like the golf league or whatever it was. Heckle. Hackle? I'm thinking this is a nap. Yeah, well, can't find it. So did he throw a bottle at him? I mean, look, listen. Uh, one, don't throw a bottle at anybody, but throwing a bottle is definitely an invitation to a fight. So if I show up on scene and there are two guys who had an argument, right? Because these things are always preceded by an argument. And one guy, guy A, threw a bottle at guy B, and guy B punched guy A. I would consider guy A having started that, right? Even if guy B started the argument, right? The first one to get physical starts the fight. It's always that guy's fault. Because now you make guy B the guy defending himself, right? Because he's you make the asshole the hero here. Um, yeah, he threw a bottle at him. Ugh. Um, we were me and my nephew were talking about Mike Tyson squats. Have you heard of these things? So Mike Tyson squats. Where's the deck of cards? Uh, why is it so dark in here? Hold on. Let's cut this on. Let me get a deck of cards. Cha, 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 cha. All right. All right. So apparently, this is what my nephew thought. This is what I thought, but we couldn't find any. Well, we did research, and I was like, who can do that many squats? We did research, and the record for squats is like 3,000 squats. So let's put this over here. So Mike Tyson would put a card down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Apparently, he would use the whole deck. I was just using 5. Let's see if we can tilt this down. All right. And he would, he would. This is Mike Tyson squats. He would body weight squats, no weight. He would go 1, right? Pick it up. Then he would go 1, pick up the one he just picked up, pick up the second one. So he just did 2. And then he would come over and put the first one down, put the second one down, right? He's doing this with the whole deck, right? Let me get these right. So the first one is where's the move that chair? The first one is 1. The second one is 3. The fourth one, wait, right, 1, 3. The fourth one, blah, 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 blah. The first one is 1. The second one is 3. The third one is 5, right? The fourth one is 7. So these things kind of stack quickly. And those are Mike Tyson squats. And I was like, I mean, my first 2 were good, but by the time I got to the fifth one, Mike Tyson squats. I'm really interested in body weight exercises because I don't want to go to a gym. I really don't. One, I can save the money, quite frankly. I used to work out when I was dirt poor, which is, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18. You work out on the street. I had a job at Herman Sporting because I bought some bogus weights that I actually just got rid of when I moved down here like a few years ago. But I had them since I was 18. I'm actually younger than that. Some light curls. I had a bench, push ups, sit ups, jumping jacks, right? I lived in a house, so it wasn't like, and I was in the basement, so it's not like things will kind of fall off the shelf. And that's what I did. Then somehow I got away from that, and I need to have a Jack Lane membership. Then when I lived in Brooklyn, I need to be a member of the New York Sports Club. It was more for where meeting people, right? A lot of women were there. Uh, some yoga, hot yoga, some of that kind of thing. Now, it's like, all right, let's see what I need to work on. I need to do more push-ups, more sit-ups, more squats, more calf raises, right? Knee lifts, right? And just kind of like shake the skeleton occasionally so it doesn't get too bad. But yeah, Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson squats. I was like, wow. And we counted like, so if you put down 10 cards and you did that, pick one up, it would be 100 push-ups. 100 push-ups. It would be 100 squats, 100 bodyweight squats. And I was like, huh, right? And because remember, one is one, two is three is five, four is seven, five would be, hold it, yeah, no, four is more than seven. I think four is, no, four is seven, right? Five is nine, and 10 is 15. That's all. But by the, no, 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 no. 10 is, oh my God. You know what? Don't have me doing math. How do you exponentially do this? One to two, yeah, all right. I'll figure it out. But the thing said 10 is 100, and I was thinking five has to be around like a third of that, right? Because by the time you finish a whole deck of 50 cards doing that, they're talking about yeah upwards of 1,500 of these these squats, right? Um, and that isn't 10 times because there's 52 decks of cards. 10 times five, right? Because that would be 500 squats or whatever. So it does get big. It does explode exponentially. But I forget how. Um, but yeah, so 10 of them is 100, oddly enough, and five of them are like, I want to say fucking 20, 15. All right. Where are we? Oh, did I say what's up, John? I did. Excuse me. Hey, how you doing, John? I hope this Earth Day finds you good, chilling this Friday. Who's doing anything on the weekend? Now's the time to start doing it. Get out there, get some fresh air into your lungs before the other people do, right? And stay away from the hyper crowded places. But get out, get some fresh air into your lungs before they tell you have to go home and keep the windows shut. So apparently, people have stopped talking about Shanghai because they shut that place down, and now not even news is coming out of there, and there are news people there. So I wonder what's going on when they do get out. Here's the thing about those places: you can't keep this shit hidden, right? I mean, it's the modern era where information travels around the world in like what 20 minutes. If there's not even 20 minutes, if there's an earthquake in New Zealand, let's say it's 7:20 right now here. What time is it in the Auckland, New Zealand? New Zealand, Auckland. It's 11:18 a.m. Okay, so it's 11:18 a.m. there tomorrow. Um, if something happened there 12 their time, it would be 8 here. So I'm guessing we would know about it. Time, I mean, the hour time irrelevant. If it's go time there, whatever that is, right, and the clock starts ticking, I think we know about it here easily within, yeah, I want to say 20 minutes, right? They're gonna ask some question of each other. This person's gonna ask some question, and then you're gonna get a loose, you know, unless it's live reporters on the scene when they'll just cut to whoever's reporting. Hey, this thing is going on in Paris. Just cut to so and so in Paris, and then you'll get it faster. You'll get it from an English speaking. This is what we know because they probably had it for like 5 minutes, right? We'll have you ready to go in like a few minutes, and then they'll go. This is what we know. There's a fire at the Notre Dame, or there was yet another terrorist knuckleheadness at some local wine and cheesery, right? And then they pop it immediately, and then everybody else races to get it. So then we know in 5 minutes, but so 20 minutes. I guess not 20 minutes. Maybe let's say between 5 and 10 minutes. That's how fast. Good lord! Just 100 years ago, it took, I want to say, 6 weeks for mail to get from New York to San Francisco. Right? 100 years ago. When was 100? 1922. No, they had planes then. Um, let's say 150 years ago. That would have been Pony Express era, right? That would have been 1870. They would have had trains, and that yeah, okay. So let's go 1870, 1880s upwards, right? Right about the time when they invented the bicycle, which was around the 1890s. Uh, oh, when the bicycle became popular, it was somewhere around like the 1890s, right? Um, that sounds about right. So I mean, yeah. So it took from 6 weeks to, right. Well, yeah, about 6 weeks, right? To Morse code came around. The important people got their information through Morse code almost like immediately, as someone was segment. As soon as you could get to like a Morse code shop, and then everyone else had, after that, Morse code became for government, and everyone else had telegraphs, right? And then you could, which was essentially the same thing. You can send a telegraph across country, and then you can make the phone call, and you didn't need to write. But your mail would still take about a week or two to get here. And now here we are, instant communication. The next thing is, well, not instant travel, but the travel has to improve. How do we do that? Because remember, even in the 40s, people were taking cruisers across the Atlantic, and then they started being shot down by the Nazis, like sunk by the Nazis. Because not everybody could afford a plane, right? Planes were luxury items, and then yeah, it would take, how long did it take to cross the Atlantic by cruise ship, steamer? I want to say like a month. God, I love those old movies where you get on a steamer and then there's a murder and somebody has to solve it before they get to England. Like they're gonna be like it's gonna take them a week or two. Uh, how long did a steamship take to cross the Atlantic? Depending on the ship's speed, it generally took between 6 and 8 days. Okay, actually crossing the Atlantic. Many lines choose to add a few ports of call in this stretch, lengthen the cruise to 2 weeks or more. Huh. Okay. So what am I thinking? Six. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Huh. Between 6 and 8 days. Linear transatlantic crossing time. Linear. Liner transatlantic crossing time. 1833 to 1952. Wow, 130 years of of ship crossing the Atlantic. All right. Um, should I even repeat that? Uh, yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of these. I hate to be sexist about it, but I grew up with these guys, and they would go, so and so hit for the cycling. Last time that happened, it was this guy, and they would just inundate you with all these facts and figures and the dates and times and when, because they had been watching it since they were like 7 years old, and now I just feel like a lot of people are just going, I like sports. I'll be a sports reporter. What do you know about the history of it? People don't know very much about it, and that's the men and the women. But I think the women are worse. Yeah, one particular one. Like the lady who some of these ladies announcers are not awesome. They aren't. But I don't know. In this world of needing content and diversity, and I believe in diversity, there's nothing wrong with diversity. Uh, but you should still try to find quality people, and surely you could find some quality people. But I think they also want supermodel looking people first before they want any actual sports knowledgeable. What's that woman's name? Katie Nolan, right? She's awesome. She knows sports. She's got her own sports show. I haven't ever seen her call it. I don't think she calls games. Does she call games? But she does good commentary. Of like, um, and she strikes me as someone who's sports knowledgeable, who likes sports. Uh, but the lady who does the sports, the NFL. Why am I talking about this? You know what? No, 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 no. That is it. I would just say this: some of these are a hard sell on actual baseball fans, or sports fan in general, because it's a hard sell on me, and I'm not a sports zealot fan. I'm just kind of like, let's call me a really interested third party, right? Versus a super fan of. Um, and I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm sort of like, all right. We're not gonna go down a rabbit hole looking up steamships. We're not gonna do that. Steamships in this information age, we're looking up steamships. Outrageous, outrageous. Washington. Oh, okay. Washington man arrested for impersonating agent left trail of defaults and debt. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was wondering, where's he getting this money? Where is he getting this money? No, 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 no. You good? You good? Yeah. We the men's folk should be able to have these conversations without the women folk listening in and getting mad at us. Um, but these conversations are gonna happen. Uh, President says Mexico's women shouldn't worry after missing teen found dead. That whole place is full of bad dudes, right? And they don't always deal with each other. Every now and then they deal with one of the ladies. Um, it's sad. Young people murdering. Like, I don't get it. Portugal identifies suspect in probe of missing British girl Madeleine McCann. Portugal identified suspect in probe of missing British girl Madeleine McCann. McCann was 3 at the time of her disappearance from an apartment where her family was vacationing in the Algarve seaside town of Praia de Luz by the Associated Press. So there's no one's got the byline on this. NBC News. Prosecutors in southern Portugal are formally accusing a suspect in the investigation into the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, a British girl whose disappearance nearly 15 years ago while on a family vacation in southern Europe, in the southern European country. Like, yeah, both her parents were doctors, right? And they were like, you did it for the money. People were like, they're fucking doctors, man. Oh, yeah, exactly. Now I'll never get there. Um, because I've got all these angry women at my gate. Angry, that there's a novel for you, Angry Women at the Gate. Um, a statement on Thursday by the Public Ministers District of Faro. A statement on Thursday by the Public Ministry District of Faro, the Public Ministry District of Faro, the city, okay, the largest city in Portugal, Algarve region, did not name the suspect, but said they were acting on a request by German authorities and in condition with English investigators. So this guy's been wandering around for 3 years, or at least since he murdered this girl, so 15 years ago, murdering children around Europe. That is fucking horrible. She'd be 18. She'd be just going off to college. Oh my gosh, it's so nobody's got time for people like this. Brucker 45 is serving. Hold it. Mccann with her family was vacating Arkansas. Brucker 45 is serving a sentence. Hold it. They never mentioned him. Did I miss the point where they mentioned him? Did not name the suspect, but said they were acting on request by German authorities and in condition with English investigators. In mid 2020, German police identified Christopher Brucker, a German citizen, as the suspect in the case. Oh, okay. Let's click on that. There's no picture of the suspect. No, there isn't. That's horrible. Uh, Christopher Brucker, a German citizen, as a suspect in the case. Mccann was 3 at the time of her disappearance from an apartment where her family was vacationing in Algarve seaside town of Praia de Luz. Brucker, 45, is serving. So he's 45 now. This was 15 years ago. So he was 30 when this happened. Is serving a sentence on drug offenses in Germany prison and has a pending 7-year sentence for 2005 rape of a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal. The rape also took place in Praia de Luz. Burka had denied any involvement in Madeleine's disappearance. Investigators in the nearby town. So he went from Germany into Portugal to do his dirty business and slipped back into Germany like it's all right. Brucker has denied any involvement in Madeleine's disappearance, of course. Investigators in the nearby town of Portimao, P-O-R-T-I-M-A-O, Portimao, are leading the probe with the assistance of the Judiciary Police. The prosecutor's statement said, "It's so, it's so." Everybody should get a fair trial, but some people don't need to sit on death row for like 50 years. You know he's a pedophile. You know he's got a long ass rap sheet. First of all, ask why. Who handled these cases? Because it sounds like they suck too. And then you leave the bad guy out on the street, and he runs around killing 3-year-olds. For God's sakes, I mean, oh boy. Okay. What? Winding down to the 5-minute mark. Um, Remember, everyone, please like and subscribe. You can find me here coming very soon. Da 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 da. Uh, Not so much on YouTube, but on Twitch. We will continue the show there. It's going to be longer. There's going to be more stuff going on, location shooting and gaming most days. And the stream is going to be longer. I think we're going to start it earlier, and we're going to run it probably about till 8. So about half an hour now. And the times we don't want to game, that's 6 hours, maybe not 6 hours. But yeah, we can game for like 3 or 4 hours. We can do both. We can have a talk show and a gaming session in the same session, or we can split them up, one in the morning, one at night, or one in the night and one in the morning. We got no rules. You know how that goes. Uh, Stop. All right. So yeah, it's we're not. Oh, that's not good. We're not. What is it? We're not. We're not without options. Uh, Even as we're trying to have a goal, as we march out of here. Uh, April, right? May. April showers bring May flowers, right? So we're gonna flower in May. Uh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. We're gonna. Oh my God! Most of this speech is really for me. I'm trying to pump myself up and believe that I can do this thing. So sometimes my rah rah is really for me. Let's see what we got in the chat. Tesla on autopilot crashed into $3 million jet. Yeah, the billionaire will pay for it. But here's the thing: do you want a jet that's been hit by a car? You're flying over something and something falls off, and you're like, "Damn it, Tesla!" Uh, I don't have any. I don't have any. I have nothing to drink in here. All right. The new stream is going to be awesome. All right, Haps. We'll say a prayer for you in these final weeks. Dear sweet Haps, as you march on in the internet uh, oblivion, you won't ever be gone because everything on the internet lasts forever, right? So you become immortal. You glisten like the twinkling of stars in the firmament that is the bygone internet, which is forever receding or getting deeper. Somebody give me internet sort of scenario. Anyway, you know what I mean? But the rest of us will. I personally, there's a lot of me having agita on this restreamer, and when we stop using it, we move over to one stream. But that's good. That's fine. You helped me so much, Haps. The Haps community, met all these cool people. Met my man Conway, William, uh, and yeah, so I can't hate on the app, right? Uh, I got a lot out of it. I got good practice in from it. I learned how to let stuff go because man, the app used to crash. Remember that? Uh, and I learned how to stream a little longer than I thought I could. So yeah, this app, man, will we miss it? No, we won't miss it. I won't say we'll miss it, but I will say I will appreciate these days forever, right? I absolutely will, and I'm thankful for them. I'm gonna keep them up on my channel. I'm not gonna block them out. They are like 350 of them motherfuckers. Uh, and I'm sorry that the Haps broadcast team or whatever never slid into my chat and said anything to me. The kid is interesting, guys. You can still do it. Uh, but yeah, we wish you well on your next endeavors, whatever that may be. On your march to billions, right? Um, No. Here's my thing. I'm old school. I am not trying to drive in a car with no driver, and I'm definitely not trying to be asleep at the wheel if I am in a car with no driver. I'm definitely trying to be in the driver's seat, Justin, and I'm not trying to be asleep. I'm not trying to read a book. I may fiddle with the radio. I may feel comfortable enough to every now and then look up some stuff and could so and so play this, and then I'll put that. I don't use my phone in my car as it is. So I don't see me. Uh, One, if you can't park, I have almost zero respect for your driving ability. It's the base bare minimum you should be able to do with your car. And people just know how to point it in a direction, and then God forbid you need to throw it in reverse, and they can't, they can't do it. It's scary. They will run you right over in the parking lot. Um, yeah. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. I like to drive, and I said I like to drive. I don't speed, but I do drive with some vigor. Um, and down here, like I said, you're always moving around older people driving, so you can. It's hard to stay in your and then these giant trucks all over the place. So yeah, being a not being a good driver is important. Um, and I like to be in charge of driving. I generally don't like to be the passenger in anybody's car. I had a car accident, a really bad one. Um, and I don't like to be. I only trust my driving and a handful of other people's driving. Quite honestly, um, yeah, it's weird. I'm a weirdo. I am a weird person. I fully embrace it. I do. I'm fairly odd. Fairly odd. I'm a fairly odd person, not a fairly odd parent. Well, look, here's the thing. People throw the car in reverse while you're walking, and they will run you, and that's how people get hit. They get backed over in the parking lot. You're like, ah, and people like jamming the brake and they right over you. It is a thing. So when I get out my car, I move straight for the center of the so you can see me in the center, right? Before I just because the car I make my turn on is my car, right? And I make so yeah, it's hard, man. I'm telling you, people I found out that it's a stat here that most people get have had have car accidents in parking lots, and I had one. Someone hit me. Remember that story? And that people get run over in the same parking lot. And I was like, huh, that concerns me more because you know I'm in parking lots on foot just as much as because once you drive in, right? So you have to marry that with your idea of every time because I was raised to look both ways in New York City streets, like traffic. So that becomes second nature to you looking both ways. But that's not really necessary where I am now, even though I still do it, right? What's necessary now is driving and watching how people drive and that sort of thing. Um, yeah, I gotta tell you, it's everybody's on the phone driving too. That's another thing. No bueno, homie. Not you should not be on your phone driving. And they'll be on the phone talking to someone not paying attention and back right over you. So we don't want that. All right, please, people, like and subscribe. Um, we're on a run. Those of you who are familiar, uh, we would appreciate any small donations for the end of the. I was thinking Thursday the last day, so I was trying to do this. Man, this is hope. I'm gonna let it go. I think it's hopeless. Because I'm gonna need Wednesday because it closes Saturday, so that gives me Thursday, Friday, and Saturday just in case anything comes up. Versus doing it on the last day. I think they should have gave us a month to pull this off, but it is what it is, right? I don't think I'm wrong. Eh, whatever. All right. Are we are we ending the stream? I'm in my head still thinking about this because I'm like, I can do this, but I can't do anything. All right. So once again, we'll start playing this game on Twitch, Karma Arma, ARMA, and maybe we'll play Crusader Kings in honor of Europe, or maybe we'll play Armor 3 and just full on war in honor of Europe. Um, or maybe we'll play Dungeons and Dragons in honor of American ingenuity with gaming, right? In the annals of ingenuity, subsection gaming. Because man, do I love a good dungeon crawling game. All right, so it is a quarter to 8. We're gonna continue our march toward greatness. Uh, please like and subscribe on my Twitch. Um, yeah, that's gonna be great. I think I have 25 subscribe, not subscribers. Yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah, subscribers. Duh, subscribers on my YouTube and my Twitch. I feel like I'm accomplishing something, right? But then I realized everyone else got a million fans. Oh my god! I'm like, wow, 25 people. I gotta tighten up my ship to do it for those 25 people. Are like a million people. Oh my god, what's my bar? That's the question. I'm just happy to do this. I don't make any sense. I'm just happy to do this. Um, Ukrainian citizens trapped as Russia attacks hospital schools and refuses evacuees. Russian offensive in the Donetsk can't make up for its failure in Kiev. Ugh, you're the best show, though. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I think I think we might be able to make our own quirky, interesting show, right? Get like we've got 25, maybe we can increase that to 50. That'd be awesome. And like just stream like the news or whatever we want to talk about. I mean, that dude, we knew that dude was going to get caught. Did you say he wasn't a citizen? Let's look that up. Not that it matters. I mean, we don't want anybody killing anybody, but it seems somehow worse that you're not even here legally, and then you get in here and you do something like this. What was his name? Bonono, Bololo, what was her name? Gala, Gall, Gall murder. Suspect killer David Bonola was in the country illegally. From fucking where? Italy? Bonola, there's an A. That could be Latino, Latina, excuse me, Latinx. They hate that. Or it could be Spanish from Europe, right? Spain, Italy, Romance language kind of. See, I used to tell my ex, not my exes, but like my ex friends, they don't call me, so I don't call them anymore. I used to tell them he's Mexican. You know what? They should go and arrest the people who hired him. I mean, at this point, you arrest the drug addict and the drug dealer. So here, yeah, arrest the illegal and not just the coyote and stuff, but who hired them. If they come here and can't get hired, they won't come here. Another reason why nobody's really interested in fixing the problem. Handyman accused of killing Queen's mom, Orsoya Gall, was living here illegally, the Post has learned. David Bonola, 44 years old, a Mexican national, entered the U.S. from Mexico about 21 years ago. According to NYPD and law enforcement sources, revealed Friday that he was living in New York in violation of immigration law when busted Wednesday for Gall's horrific murder. Yeah, he was likely trying to get the fuck back to Mexico, but he's far away from Mexico, right? So what do you need? You need cash. Do you need a bus ticket, right? And you might want to be able to take a cab to Jersey and then top a bus there because Penn Station is going to be crawling with cops, less so in Jersey. So you're going to have a bus ticket from Jersey or down to Delaware, at least to Kentucky. Then you can take a bus or a train, but those have better security than buses. And then you take that to the border, and then you sneak back over the border. And then you realize Mexico sucks and is a failed state. And then you will sneak back into America, likely in a year and a half, 2 years, and where you will be caught. And then they will go, "Oh, you're wanted for murder." I've seen this thing before. Um, let's read it. Friday, he was living in New York in violation of immigration law when busted Wednesday for Gall's horrific murder. One more person that ought not be here in the first place committing a crime, City Councilman Joe Borelli, Republican, Staten Island, sees to the Post, of course. Never give up a chance to be a racist asshat from Staten Island. Uh, the NYPD or racist ass hat from anywhere. The NYPD asked Bonolo's immigration status Friday, declined comment saying it had no information. It wasn't immediately clear if Bonola had originally entered the country legally or ever having had any type of lawful status in the U.S. But immigration and customs official confirmed to the Post that it has lodged a detainer with Queen Central Booking where Bonola it currently is. So a detainer means we, the federal government, want you to detain him. Even if he, for whatever case you have him on, jaywalking, parking tickets, we want you to hold on to him till we get there to take possession of him, right? We don't want you to cut him loose if he can pay the fine or right? We want you to retain possession of this person because we, this federal state, uh, the rather, yeah, wants possession of his carcass. Uh, ICE focuses. Here you go. ICE focuses its civil immigration enforcement priorities on apprehension and removal of non-citizens who pose threats to our national security, public safety, and border security. And ICE spokesman said in an email. ICE focuses on civil immigration enforcement priorities on apprehension and removal of non-citizens or who pose a threat to our national security. All right, so FBI poses immigration of the same thing, right? Not, but like criminal versus civil penalties. Like, so nobody was looking for them, but ICE want to make sure if you're here, you're not committing crimes, and if you're committing crimes, we want your butt, right? So up until you commit a crime, you're ISIS issue. Once you commit a crime, you're the DEA or the FBI's issue. Uh, but since he's here illegally, he's not going to be prosecuted by ICE, but he's sort of ISIS issue, as well as the FBI's issue. Priorities on apprehension and removal of non-citizens who pose a threat to our national security. Right. So national security is you being here legally killing people. That's a national security issue. The public must be secure. Public safety, right? It's also a public safety issue. Your safety at the public, border security, all three of these things they fucked up. But the national security is if you're here legally breaking the law, like I said, the FBI issue. You know who was here? National security. Those bombers who blew up the Boston Marathon, right? And then once they did that, they became a FBI issue and DEA issue. But if you had caught them before that, you'd have hit them with a national security issue. Um, they're just linked to the game. Removal of non-proposal threat, ICE spokesman said in a letter. Yeah. ICE detainer is a written request to local jail or law enforcement agencies to hold the defendant for an additional 40 hours should the person get released, so it can decide whether to take the person to federal country for deportation purposes, according to the ACLU. So yeah, hold on to him. We want him. Don't let him go. A former Westchester County executive and GOP gubernatorial candidate Rob Astorino said, "We lost control. We've lost control of our borders." He ain't wrong. This is what happens when our government, but you don't care about the northern border, right? And you don't care about people who come in from Europe, from Russia, not Russia, from, well, yeah, from Russia too, but generally from like England, who overstay the visa as well, England, Ireland, right? Um, they're not a priority. And for this, and the same thing, the Europeans don't look. We're not a high priority when we overstay in Europe, right? We got super good relationships. You understand our culture, and it's your culture. The worst thing that's going to happen if someone overstays is someone's going to marry somebody, right? That's not bad. Um, and like I said, ooh, and like I said, it's the same sort of culture, so it's not really an issue. All right, so let's finish the last paragraph of the story. This is what happens when our government waves people in and doesn't expel them when they're not supposed to be here, as Storino said. To say that's just a stupidness. The government's not waving people in. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any border policy. We have a border policy. Authorities said the curly haired suspect confessed to killing Gall, a married mother to, and was charged with murder, criminal tampering, and criminal possession of a weapon. Cops say he used to work at Gall's. Cops say he used to work as Gall's handyman and had a romantic relationship with her about 2 years. He's accused of showing up at her stately Forest Hills home Saturday morning and stabbing her nearly 60 times after they got into a fight about their relationship. He was ordered to help without bail Thursday, Queens Criminal Court. Yeah, we will see you in about 40 years. Yeah, that's sad. Albany physician assistant slain by past acquaintance of his wife. Two mangled bodies discovered on Brooklyn train tracks. People walk on those fucking train tracks all the time and then get completely dusted, as we used to say in the hood. That dude, that's getting worse than murdered. That's like getting dusted is like getting snapped out of existence. Like that dude got dusted. He got shot. Dude, no, they like like they shot him like 50. He got dusted, right? They shot him like 50 times. And all of a sudden people are like, wow. But yeah, the language is a growing thing, right? Ebb and flow as it grows. All right. So it's 5 to 8. We've been streaming for an hour and 18 minutes, we'll say. I want to thank everybody. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to hang with the kid. Oh, dude, thanks again, William. Oh, there you go. Did I thank you for these? I think I did. But thanks again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank everybody. It's second degree murder charge, 25 years to life. Yeah, but nobody gets 25 years in a minute. They get to life, which means essentially means you begin to look at parole after you did 25 years, but it's essentially a life sentence. And that's what I mean by the bullshit. I mean, you should be able to get out, right? And the thing about a life sentence is you're out on probation for life, right? You get paroled out. So if you do 25 years and they make you do 30, you get paroled out. If you get into a street fight, you're back in jail. So essentially on parole for life. It's they just fucking suck, right? They really fucking suck. Um, if you gave people education, didn't shatter people's families, you probably would get less of these men in the world, right? You make these people, and it starts 25 years ago, 30 years ago, right? Um, and not him because he wasn't made here. Uh, he shouldn't even been in the country. I hate to be the guy to say it, but he shouldn't even been in the country, right? She should have got killed by an American. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You see how it sounds? It doesn't make any sense. But he shouldn't have been in the country, and she should be alive. And yeah, so I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me. Mwah! I want to thank all of you for your kind donations, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna try and leave apps as a hero, not a zero, and we're gonna slide into the new millennia. Slide into the new millennia. Slide into the new month with a new feeling and a new groove and some piss and vinegar in our step. Right? We're gonna be playing video games. We're gonna be cooking. We're gonna be going out and doing shit. Um, I gotta buy a heavy battery for either my phone or my iPad. But yeah, it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be about 5 or 6 days a week. And I won't be doing any hot tub stream or licking ears, any of that AS. I probably will do ASMR stuff, which is music or quietly rolling 10 J's for you. These they're gonna be mercurial and eclectic, and they're gonna be all over the place. So yeah, they're gonna be fun. Some structured, some unstructured, but yeah, they're gonna be fun. Please like and subscribe. Here are my channels. like, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. The next one is tomorrow at 6:30, where we will. You know, this is our fundraising week. We're fundraising. We're trying to raise $10. So this is our fundraising week. We're like PBS. Um, yeah. See, here's the thing about second degree murder charge, 25 years. You get the same for murder, right? But the thing about second degree murder is you didn't go there to murder the person, but you murdered them anyway. Um, this isn't murder. This isn't second degree murder. This is like he's going to probably cop to 15 years to 25 for manslaughter. He didn't go there to kill her. The implement he had on him was like, well, it was 12:30. Why do you have a work thing, right? If you're at work and you got your work belt on, you hit somebody with a hammer, I get it. But he went with a knife, and I mean, knives are weapons. Will he get criminal manslaughter one where you didn't mean to kill? Well, how do you not mean to kill somebody when you have a knife? Yeah, I think you're right. It's second degree murder. I don't see them. Maybe they don't lower it because I mean they can lower it if they want him to cop a plea. It's in their power to let him cop a plea to manslaughter. Um, one and do 15 to 25, and say you must do 23 instead of 15 before you're eligible for parole. Or you must do 20 before you're eligible for parole. Um, they do that all the time too. 15 to 25, you must do 17 versus 15. Um, he has more from moving body. Right, right, right. But all these things will they always go consecutive, not consecutively, concurrently, which means all your time is served at the same time, unless the judge and the judge are just evil shits too, make it concurrent. So you first have to serve the 5 years for this, and once those five, then you begin to serve the 5 years for that, and then the 7 years for the other thing, right? Versus serving them all at the same time and end up essentially doing 7 years. You do 5 years of both charges at the same time, and then 7 years for whatever, right? So you essentially have to do 2 years. Um, Unless it's concurrent, then it's 5, 10, 15, 17 years. That's what I mean. They can do anything to you. And that's just bullshit. They shouldn't be able to do anything to you that they write and stick in a fucking book. And they did that with slavery. You can do anything. So yeah, what's the standing common sense of our judicial system other than we hate black people, companies can do whatever they want, and we can do whatever we want. I don't know what it is. Uh, as the system falls apart, right? So you're gonna have to shore up democracy in this place, and you might want to start with the judicial system. Is all I'm saying. Uh, and please like and subscribe. You get more fancy and fun stuff like that. Plus games come likely come Wednesday, come Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll be faster than that. But I gotta stay here. I'm on my fundraising grind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've streamed for an additional 23 minutes because remember we stopped for 5 minutes. The pod is now officially an hour. When we move over, it'll officially be at minimum 3 hours. And we're gonna stream and game and talk, smoke, and it's gonna be so much fun that we might stream 7 days a week for a lot of time if it's not structured. I don't want to sit down all the time though, right? I want to get out. And sitting down is a problem. I tell you guys, I started primal sitting, so maybe we'll do a half an hour of that every day on stream, primal sitting, uh, and practice my guitar. You can hear me play guitar again. All right. I will see you in the next one. Thank you, William. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, John. Good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Um, and that is it. We will see all of you in the next one.